Kaitlan Collins came in with the usual press tactics, repeating the same questions over and over, clearly hoping to corner Karoline Leavitt. But this time, her plan didn't work. Leavitt stood her ground, responded firmly, and didn't let CNN steer the conversation. Collins struggled to regain control, reaching for a follow-up question, but before she could get any traction, Leavitt shut it down. In just seconds, the exchange was over, and Collins was left speechless.
I have two questions. One on a follow-up on something you just said, but since we have these messages released and you said that the president has now personally reviewed them, at the chat at one point, Pete Hegseth wrote 14-15 strike drones on target, and in all caps he said, "This is when the first bombs will definitely drop." Does the president feel that he was misled by his national security advisors, whoever it was that told him there was no classified information in there, now that he's seen these messages?
I've now been asked and answered this question 3 times by the both of you, and I've given you my answer. The president feels the same today as he did yesterday.
Okay, Phil. And on my follow-up on what you had just said.
Go ahead, Philip. Caitlin, I'm not taking your follow-up.
I have a follow-up on something you just said, though, Caroline. That's
Caitlin,
regarding
I'm not
Jeffrey
taking
Wolford.
your follow-up. Philip, go ahead. I've called
Thank you. The vice president seemed to express some frustration that Europe wasn't doing more to police waterways in their backyard, noting in that signal thread that 40% of European trade goes through the Suez Canal. Does the president share that opinion and frustration? And then going forward, should the Europeans be responsible for policing that waterway?
Well, the president was asked this question yesterday by the pool in the cabinet room, and he answered this question. He said yes, he believes that Europe has been, as the vice president put it, freeloading on the backs of American taxpayers and off the backs of the United States of America, and he wants to ensure that Europe pays their fair share. He's always been very honest and upfront about that, and I think the vice president shares those concerns with him as well.
Sure. Enlisted soldiers, sailors, and Marines would face consequences if they shared this type of information inadvertently with a reporter. Can you tell us more why the president is so willing to give Mike Waltz a mulligan here?
Again, I have now been asked and answered the same question using different language multiple times. If anybody has another question, there's a lot of different things going on in the world. We have tariffs possibly being implemented later today. The president is going to talk about that at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
CNN reporter Kaitlan Collins came into the briefing room ready to stir things up. She kept asking the same question over and over, hoping to catch Karoline Leavitt off guard or push her into saying something that could be twisted into a controversy. But Leavitt wasn't having it. From the very beginning, Leavitt made her position clear. This question had already been answered several times. Still, Collins continued pressing, repeating herself and trying to force a response that would make headlines. The whole exchange felt less like journalism and more like a setup. Then came the turning point. As Collins tried to push yet another follow-up, Leavitt cut her off without hesitation. "That's Kaitlan. I'm not taking your follow-up," she said firmly. It wasn't rude or defensive, just direct and final. The moment was powerful. It shut down the repetition and shifted the energy in the room. While Collins stuck to the same scripted line of questioning, Leavitt brought the conversation back to what really matters. She talked about European countries depending too much on U.S. defense support, upcoming trade tariffs, and policies that actually affect everyday Americans. She reminded everyone in that room that press briefings are about informing the public, not chasing viral clips. Leavitt didn't raise her voice or get flustered. She stayed calm, stayed focused, and showed exactly why she's trusted to speak for the administration. It was a clear example of someone refusing to play into media games. As for Collins, she walked away without the moment she was looking for. No headline, no viral clip, just a quiet dismissal that left her looking like someone more interested in pushing a narrative than getting answers. It was a clear reminder. Real leadership doesn't entertain distraction.